Greetings, good morning, and welcome to Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday meditation service. I'm Kristen, and I'm honored to be of service this morning. We hope our service this morning finds you happy and healthy, but know that if you are struggling, we hope that Temple Buddhist Center can be a source of refuge for you as we open our hearts to you and your loved ones. And this is also extended for those PJ Sangha online as well. Conscious breathing. Let's begin this morning with a few conscious breaths, taking a few moments to ground, to experience the body, and to breathe together. Conscious breathing is where you seal the mouth, breathe deeply through the nose, and pause for a moment before releasing slowly so that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Let's begin. Breathing in. Pausing just a moment, feeling the fullness of the lungs, releasing slowly. And as you release, checking in with the body, just being aware of what is present and alive in the body right now. A second conscious breath, pausing just a moment, ventilating this precious human form, then releasing slowly. As you release, see if you can release any worry of concerns from the week, all the energy of being, going, striving, accomplishing. Just allow yourself a few moments to cultivate the energy of being, not doing. A third conscious breath together, releasing slowly. As you release, taking the time to invite your awareness to the present moment, fully arriving in the here and now. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin service with a chant. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition, and it's not about being a singer. It's about having a voice and lending your voice to the energy of our Sangha this morning. Victor will let us know what the chant is this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Kristen. There, how's that? Welcome, everyone. Our chant this morning is Om Ami Dewa Ze, which in the Sanskrit tradition is the chant that enhances compassion. Compassion for all beings, including ourselves. Compassion for the struggles, compassion for the difficulties, the challenges, and compassion for those times when we are unable to understand or to see our path. And so we'll begin with a conscious breath together. And let's begin. Om Ami Dewa Ze. 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 Om once more. Om Ami Dewa
Here at TBC, we practice Western Buddhism, a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. This new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic, inclusive, active, and focuses on core Buddhist insights such as mindfulness, meditation, and their practice application in our daily life. Our goal here isn't to get everyone to agree on one lineage or philosophy. Rather, it's on cultivating shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. Whether we are chanting, meditating, or sharing from the heart, we respect that you'll participate only in a level that is comfortable for you. We take refuge in the three jewels and acknowledge these core values as expressions of our awakened mind: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We value awareness of our own Buddha nature, as well as the Buddha nature of all beings, allowing a new perspective of this and every precious moment. The second jewel is the Dharma, the truth teachings that release us from fear and delusion and help us to realize the true nature of who we are. And the Sangha, all of us here, in person or online, which is an essential part of growth where we practice our teachings together and support each other on every step of the path. Please take this moment to silence any electronic devices as we prepare for a meditative environment. Let us prepare for the prayer of refuge. We'll recite this together 3 times. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened with the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. As we enter a time of meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then I invite you to practice in a way that is fitting for you this morning. If you are new to meditation, then we will begin with an opening dedication. We will sound the bell 3 times. There will be a brief guided meditation, and then we will spend approximately 12 to 15 minutes in noble silence. Let's begin by taking a conscious breath together. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness. I send my heart with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
And so as the sound of the bell recedes, guiding us, showing us the way into stillness, if you need to take another conscious breath or two, or perhaps adjust your posture or shift, that's absolutely okay. Whatever you need to do to partner with the body to create a greater sense of relaxation and ease. And so as the breath settles into its natural flow, its natural rhythm, we notice the rise and fall of the tummy with each in-breath and out-breath. And each time we exhale and release, we find a deeper, newer level of ease, gentleness in the body, of relaxation. Releasing the forehead and the eyebrows, releasing the jaw, the shoulders drop, and the belly softens. We sink just a little deeper into the chair or the cushion beneath us. And so, connected to the breath, the body is easy and light. We can bring our awareness to awareness itself. Noticing when the mind becomes aware of a sound, perhaps in the room or in the hallway. Noticing when the mind becomes aware of a sensation like the feeling of hot or cold, or perhaps an itch or an ache. And noticing when the mind becomes aware of a thought or even a string of thoughts. All these things come and go, rise and fall, and serve as a springboard to awakening, because each time we notice the mind has been distracted by one of these is a moment of awakening. We simply notice the mind and then return to the breath. How lightly can our awareness touch these things that we have become aware of? Just notice and return. It's effortless. And so connected to the breath, the body is gentle, easy and light. The mind is clear yet receptive to whatever arises, and the heart is open. We can move more deeply into our meditation. I close my eyes and I see clearly. I stop trying to listen, and I hear truth. I am silent, yet my heart sings. I seek no contact, and find union. I am still and move forward. I am gentle and need no strength. I am humble and remain whole, returning again and again to the breath, returning again and again home. And so I invite you to remain in a meditative state, connected to the breath. The body is gentle and easy. And I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sound, noticing the sound of my voice or the sound of the air handlers in the room. And as you become aware of sound, at the same time, can you keep 5% of your awareness on that deep silence within? The silence within that is not dependent on external circumstances, is always with us, is always accessible. Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of touch. As you become aware of your clothing upon your skin, or the feeling of the seat or the cushion beneath you, and as you become aware of material and matter and form, at the same time, can you keep a little bit of your awareness on that which is formless? In other words, awareness of awareness. Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sight. As you slowly begin to open your eyes, just letting in a little bit of light, just allowing the objects to come to you. And as you become aware of walls and chairs and bodies and things, at the same time, can you be aware of the space around them, in and through them? Can you sense the space in this room? How it's no different than the space around the building? And can you sense the space around our planet? You don't have to be outside of it to sense that space. And I invite you to bring your awareness to the breath as we take a conscious breath together. And as you release, be present in the here and the now, in this time and in this place. All right, so good morning, everyone. So nice to be here with everybody. We were a little worried because at about 10 till 9, there was nobody here. And so we were like, is this Sunday? And then Eric thought maybe, well, many of our Sangha, the ones especially who travel by hot air balloon, are unable to make it today because of all the wind. So we were just kind of going through, but then magically, as always, it's so nice to have each and every one of you here. Also realizing that you don't have to physically be present to be with us, right? The energy is with us no matter where you are at. And so I also want to wish a happy Diwali to many, many folks who celebrate this very, very high holy day. It is a high day in the Hindu tradition, one of the most popular festivals in the Hindu tradition, Diwali, which celebrates the triumph of light over darkness, the triumph of knowledge over ignorance. And so many folks will be celebrating that today, and so we want to honor and recognize that. So in the Vedanta tradition, Vedanta and Buddhism have lived side by side for thousands of years. In fact, since the earliest days of Indian philosophical thought. And they have influenced each other tremendously. They have influenced each other to a great degree and share many commonalities. One of the grandest ideas in the tradition of Vedanta is recognizing that we each have different personalities and different tendencies, and this offers us different paths to awakening, so to speak. And in the Vedanta tradition, they identify four paths to awakening. And so these 4 paths are what they call the 4 paths of yoga, or sets of spiritual practices to help each person on their awakening. And I have generalized these 4 paths for you today, and I'm going to talk about those. They are service, devotion, meditation, and knowledge. And it's very important that at the same time, you must remember that these divisions are not very marked or exclusive of each other. Each blends into each other. But according to the type which is most prevalent, or the type that prevails most within a particular person, we have these divisions. We set them apart because one tends to be more prevalent than the others. So Vedanta tells us that by remembering who we really are, see the commonalities with Buddhism, there's one of them right there, that who we really are, fear, greed, hatred, and delusion will simply drop away. And yoga, the union of body, mind, and spirit, is rediscovering who we are and returning to a life of joy, bliss, freedom, Satchitananda. You've heard us use that term before. So let's look at these 4 paths. These 4 paths of yoga, and see how we can incorporate this into our practice. Number 1 is known as Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is the path of devotion, ultimately to divinity itself, to whatever is sacred. And it can initially be perhaps a teacher, your family, a friend, anything that creates strong emotional ties. And in today's world, with so much chaos and confusion, it is said that bhakti is the easiest path. It can be practiced by anyone, regardless of mental or physical abilities. And I love that. That right there, you know, we often encounter people that may have certain difficulties or challenges in their life, be they mental, physical, or spiritual. And oftentimes they can be kind of sort of written off to some degree. I love how in this bhakti practice, no, they can be of any ability and still have the ability to be devotional to whatever is sacred within them or in their heart. And it does not involve extensive yogic practices. Bhakti is the path of love, which removes jealousy, hatred, lust, anger, egoism, pride, arrogance. It replaces those feelings with feelings of joy, feelings of sacredness, bliss, peace, wisdom. The first line of a very popular Fleetwood Mac song, for those of you that remember Fleetwood Mac, I'm probably dating myself here, but one of the first lines in this song is drowning in a sea of love, where everyone would love to drown. This is bhakti, drowning in love. And so this is what creates the deep yearning of the spirit for joy and bliss. To be in love with someone or something creates separation. Bhakti is to simply be in love. To be intoxicated with the divine. So often this is shared in Rumi's poetry, talking about the beloved, and every poem is just this absolute unconditional love for everything, because there's nothing that's not the divine. It is the unity of being in love with love itself. Vedanta says, put the emphasis where it belongs, on the divinity and sacredness that each person is, not on whether they are tall, short, thin, heavy, gay, straight, colors, black, white, brown, Republican, Democrat, all these divisions, all these things that create separateness. They're so heavy, and they're also not real. They're just concepts. Bhakti Yoga asks, what is it that I long for at the deepest level of my being? Bhakti looks for the divinity or the sacredness in the ordinary. Bhakti honors and respects all life. People say that they don't have enough time for their spiritual practice because of job commitments and obligations and family commitments. And bhakti is to make serving your family that practice. Bhakti makes serving the things that you do at your work the practice. It is imbuing everything that you say and do with the sacred. And so that is Bhakti Yoga. With Bhakti, all attachments end except the all-absorbing love for the divine, for what is sacred. Resting in that. Number 2, Karma Yoga. Ooh, this sounds... I need Jordan or the dun, dun, dun. Karma Yoga. Karma means action. And Karma Yoga is performing action without attachment to the outcome. It is a very present moment and simply being lost in what we might call the zone or the flow. That place where the lines between doer and doing become completely blurred. And so this is the path of selfless service. You cease to identify with the ego, and all action is seen as an offering to the divine, to the sacred. The heart is purified, so egoism, hatred, jealousy, selfishness, and all those negative qualities vanish, creating space for humility, pure love, tolerance, compassion. You see, when we're in that place of zone, none of those negative qualities exist. You're not, oh, I'm doing the dishes, doggone it, it's somebody else's turn and I always get stuck doing this. Hatred, blame, judgment, we're all caught up in our head. But in the Karma Yoga, in that zone and flow, there's only joy. There's only the opportunity to be creating a clean, nourishing space for self and others, so that they might enjoy a meal. Karma Yoga is the process of achieving perfection through action. It means following one's dharma, one's purpose in the moment. Not that you have to create, oh God, now I have to have a purpose in life. Phew, that's heavy. No. Your purpose is what you're doing in that moment. That's your purpose. See how simple, easy that is? It is acceptance, radical acceptance of whatever comes without expectations of payment, thanks, recognition. Look what I did. Karma Yoga lives life with passion, but remains dispassionate about the outcome. I love that. Karma Yoga is effortless and graceful in all of its endeavors. Even if it's hard work, it's that efforting, that putting out of our energies. It's not that that's hard work. It's that much more that we are putting out, a love, a passion for this ability to provide action and service in the world. Karma Yoga feels neither above nor beneath anyone. Karma Yoga speaks and acts truthfully. Karma Yoga has an equanimity and a calm mind through each and all of its endeavors. With Karma Yoga, all desires eventually merge into one, which is simply to serve, and ultimately to serve awakening. Wow. Number 3. Now I got the 3 part right. Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is the path of knowledge, or perhaps wisdom. It is the means to enlightenment through the process of reason, particularly with the process of discrimination between what is real and what is not real, what is in our heads and what is in our hearts, what is past and future and what is now. It is said to be the most difficult path of all of them, Jnana Yoga, because it uses the mind and intellect, it uses the mind and intellect to go beyond themselves. It's kind of like the jazz pianist, right? Who must learn all the rules and the regulations and everything only to transcend them. And so it is said to be the most difficult of the paths themselves, finally to realize our oneness with all things, that there is nothing to learn. There is nothing to really have to, it's kind of like we always talk about the roadmaps that we build are not the destination. A roadmap of Detroit is not Detroit. The finger pointing at the moon is not the moon. And so that is this path of Jnana Yoga, sometimes called in the Upanishads the razor's edge, where the ego is always trying to knock us off the path. It requires great strength of character, willpower, and intellect when asked a question, as Ramana Maharshi would often say when he was asked a question, he would always respond, first, ask yourself who is asking the question. Well, that's not helpful. And yet it is, right? Jnana Yoga is the study of the ancient texts, the teachings of the great masters, both past, present, but more importantly, it is the study of the mind-body organism. Chris and I have been teasing each other because I always talk about the form we all call Victor. And so she's now talking about, is the form we all call Victor going to be needing a microphone this morning? As she was helping me set up today. Jnana Yoga studies the spiritual text. Jnana Yoga reads the words and embodies them, not just intellectually, but allowing the feeling nature of the teachings to arise. And that's something we learn, right? We're told, hey, that's great. It's great that you get it. It feels good. But now drop down and be with the feeling of the teachings. Jnana Yoga asks the questions, who am I? What do I want? What am I grateful for? Jnana Yoga is mindful of the surrounding world. It practices discernment and detachment. The Jnana Yogi stops worrying about what is being seen and asks, who is seeing it? Life begins to take on sort of a dreamlike nature. And number 4, Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga means literally the royal path. Just as a king maintains control over his kingdom, we must maintain an awareness of our own kingdom, the vast territory of our mind. Raja Yoga is the path of meditation, which includes, for example, movement meditation, yoga, Tai Chi, Tai Chi Cha. It includes mantras, mandalas. And so Raja Yoga, all these different techniques, and the basic theme of Raja Yoga is that your perception of the divine self is obscured by the disturbances of the mind. We see this as a similar correlative teaching with the Brahma Viharas, with the 4 faces of the heart, if you will, understanding that we are love, compassion, joy, and peace. That's why the Buddha didn't teach those things. You already are that. I can't teach you something you are, but what I can teach you is what's blocking your awareness of that. So the Buddha taught suffering. And when we understand how fear, greed, hatred, and delusion override our true nature, our Buddha nature, our Christ nature, whatever you want to call it, when we see that and we learn how to peel those layers off, all those layers of conditioning, you had to learn hatred. You had to learn fear. When we peel that away and realize who we truly are, which is what meditation can do for us, that is our awakening. That's when we realize who we are. So Raja Yoga is the path most favored by Westerners because it can be practiced by everyone, almost everyone, at almost any time, requiring no belief or particular faith. Raja Yoga says to believe only what you find out for yourself through direct experience. Raja Yoga maintains balance in sleep, diet, lifestyle, and work because we come to learn that we are never not in meditation. There's eating meditation, there's driving meditation, there's doing the dishes meditation, there's drinking my mocha frappuccino meditation. It's pure, it's non-judgmental. Raja Yoga takes responsibility for one's life, for one's awareness, for one's awakening. Raja Yoga trains the mind through techniques of meditation. And so even though these 4 paths appear different, I think you could hear really that there's only one yoga, one union. We may be drawn to one path more than the others, but they complement each other. As the saying goes, all roads lead home, and so all paths lead to enlightenment. The paths are like 4 different strands woven together to form the same rope. In Swahili, it's known as kamba. Kamba. And this rope, each strand strengthening the other. As we bring awareness to aspects of each path and how they resonate with us, we can begin to incorporate them into our practice. And so when I was exposed to this teaching just this week, I was, wow, this so resonates with me. And I had to stop because I'll be honest, at first I felt the intellectual hit. Oh, it's so cool to know something. Wow, elevated me. Look what I know. And then with the practice kicking in, I sat with it. It's like, oh, well, okay, there's the egoic hit. And now, what's the truth of it? Where I sat with it. And what this teaching shared with me, and why I wanted to share it with you, is it was this radical acceptance of where we are in our path. So hard, my teacher tried to get me knowledge. Study, read, what are the 5 aggregates of clinging? What are the 4 noble truths? What is the Eightfold Noble Path? Why do you not know this? And I would just laugh because the joy of their simple existence was all I needed. And his awakening helped to realize that as well, and he's the one who shared this with me. He's like, this is amazing because there's a radical acceptance in this. There is a realizing that we have always been on our path. We're on our path now. We will always be on our path. But the mind wants to find the right one. The mind wants to say, oh no, it's not this, it's that one, because see, that person's awakened. They wrote a book. That means they're awakened. And that's not what this teaching is telling us. It's every thought, word, and deed of every waking moment. Indeed, if you can get into lucid dreaming, even in our unconscious, we can be on the path. So that's what this resonated. That's why this resonated with me. All beings in all places, regardless of abilities, are on the path. They look different, they seem different, but they're not. They're just different strands, different people at different times. And so I want to close by sharing this poem with you by Mark Nepo. And the poem is entitled, Being Here. Transcending down into the ground of things is akin to sweeping the leaves that cover the path. There will always be more leaves, and the heart of the journey, the heart of our awakening, is to discover for ourselves that the leaves are not the ground, and that sweeping them aside will reveal a path. And finally, that to fully live, we must take the path and yet keep sweeping it.
Let's take a moment to embody these teachings. Let's take a conscious breath together as we move into our loving kindness meditation. You may want to put your hand on your heart. Maybe cross it over and touch your thumbs, the Anjali Mudra. Or you may want to put your hands on your thighs, palms up, whatever kind of stirs the heart within you. picture an image of yourself, a full body image of you. And silently say these words of loving kindness metta. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe from inner and outer dangers. May I be well in body and mind. May I be at ease and happy. Another conscious breath. Bring to your mind an image of a friend of yours, one that causes you to smile, one that you are at ease with. Once you have this image in your mind's eye, send these words of loving kindness metta. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at ease and happy. Another conscious breath. Next, bring to mind the image of a difficult person. Maybe someone at your work or at school. Maybe someone that you've seen in the media. Once you have this image in your mind's eye, say these words of loving kindness metta. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at ease and happy. Another conscious breath. Next, bring to your mind's eye from the place you are right now the image of the world as it looks from space. Think of all of the sentient beings of the air, land, and sea, all of the animals and plants, even the insects, all of the people, including yourself. And let's say these words of loving kindness metta to us all. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be safe from inner and outer dangers. May we be well in body and mind. May we be at ease and happy. Last conscious breath as we close our practice. Gratitude to you all for sharing that moment. And other gratitude in the spirit of Dana, the Buddha's practice of generosity. Temple Buddhist services are giving freely. In the same way, if you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, not in return for something that you have received, but so that others who may seek refuge in Sangha may find it here at this temple. Dana boxes are located on the lower floor here in the temple space. Thank you to all our wonderful volunteers, and thank you to our TBC ambassadors. those who have committed regular electronic donations. It's not about the amount. The monthly giving helps us to set a budget here at TBC. If you would like to become an ambassador, just visit our website, templebuddhistcenter.com, and click on the Love Offering button. Thank you to Victor today for your Dharma talk. Thank you so much for that enlightenment. And also, Jordan, thank you for your beautiful music today. And thank you, all of you who have joined us this morning. And Victor is going to give you a personal thank you. I'm sending a thank you to our PJ Sangha. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined. We are all the better for it. Thank you. All right. Let's prepare to close our service with the Bodhicitta dedication. We'll say this one time out loud. May the pure, brilliant sun of Bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with our hands together in front of our hearts, let's go forth from this place in entering each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. And as we open our hands, open our eyes, shine our light into the world, namaste.
And thank you so much, Kristen, for all of your help. Thank you, everyone. Just a couple brief announcements, not a whole lot. Right now, we finished our, thank you so much to everyone. The day-long retreat yesterday was wonderful. We had about 24, 26 folks, and it was just delightful. So again, thank you, everyone, for your support of that. If you weren't able to make it, we do it every quarter. So it's a day-long retreat. We invite you to catch up on the next one. If you'd like to. Also, our lending library is in need of an infusion. It has been lovingly drained. Folks have taken the books that have been offered on meditation, mindfulness, the Buddhist practice, and whatnot. So check your library at home. If you've got a few books sitting around that you just haven't looked at in a long time, please bring it up and share it with the rest of the Sangha. It is a beautiful practice of dana itself to be able to share what you have at home, and who knows, that book could speak to that person in such a way that it really opens up their practice. Thank you to Carrie for her crumble cookies that are downstairs right after the service. There's coffee, there's tea, there's crumble cookies, and then also don't forget our post-service discussion group to the left, which begins at 10:15. And we have a full moon meditation coming up on November 6th, and it's at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. because Sunday is a work night, school night, so we want to be sure to get people home in time for dinner and to relax before they have to go. So we're doing a full moon meditation. We're building a flower mandala. There will be dances of universal peace, and there will also be chanting. And so that is Sunday, November 6th. It's free. Just come and enjoy and share in bhakti yoga, which is what this is, an exercise in that. And then also, don't forget, our 4-day silent meditation retreat is coming up. It is the New Year's retreat. So we are in meditation as the new year rolls in, bringing it in such a space of the heart, love, and joy, and peace, and compassion. What a great way to welcome in the new year. And so that registration is online. Just go to our website. If you type in retreat, I think this is probably the first one to pop up. And as always, I'll just put this up there, all kinds of things happening and going on. Thank you, everyone. As you go into your day, peace, blessings, and go Chiefs.
sometimes I never know how much I need a good dharma talk.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, okay. And then I'm just like, oh, it's just so fabulous.